Driving isn't a complicated task. I've been doing it for years, and I've learned to accomplish more than getting from point A to point B with my behind-the-wheel time.
I've never been busier. If I don't grab a bite to eat while I'm driving, or if I can't make a few phone calls, then my day is a lot longer. In my world, if I don't juggle, I can't keep up.
I mean, all my friends are calling and texting back and forth in their cars. It's not that big of a deal. Look, it's really just these safety geeks that are trying to take away our privileges. I mean, I've been driving for like 3 years now, and I've only gotten in like 2 wrecks.
Just look around. It doesn't take long to see that there's plenty of activity going on behind the wheel besides driving. People like these, with all of the reasons they cited and many more, are trying to wring more utility out of their time behind the wheel than ever before. Yeah, it's common. In fact, billion-dollar industries have been built around helping drivers do double or triple duty while behind the wheel. There isn't much out there that discourages this type of activity, but we think there should be. Unchecked on this very day, hundreds of people will walk out their doors and start the machines that will move them through their final days. Now, these people have probably never thought about it in quite this way, but as they multitask while driving, they aren't playing with a full deck. And that decision could get them killed. But the good news is that those collisions are optional. They don't have to happen. There's a wild card out there, a card that can either work for you or against you. How it's played is up to you. Okay, admit it. If you've spent much time behind the wheel, you've multitasked. From changing radio stations, or turning to talk to a passenger, to eating, making a phone call, looking at a navigation system display, reading a map, or making notes. And nowadays people are finding new ways to use technology to distract themselves. You've probably done some of it. Some of you may have done it all, and you've gotten away with it. Yeah, you know it's not the safest thing you can do behind the wheel, but you also know you've been able to handle it. A few close calls maybe, but nothing too serious. We are going to try to convince you that you've been running, at least in part, on luck. And we think we can make a pretty good case. Don't get us wrong, you're probably very capable. You can do a lot, and you can accomplish more than one thing at a time. But out here, the stakes are as high as they can be, for you and for others. One mistake, one judgmental error, one short lapse of attention, or one piece of bad luck can take it all away. Just seconds, and there's no tomorrow. You may have become pretty confident in your multitasking capabilities, but so have others. And for some of them, it hasn't ended well. Now, some of this is going to seem pretty extreme, almost comical, but you don't have to be juggling this much to be at risk. During this presentation, all we can ask for is your attention. All we can hope for is your willingness to modify your behavior if we can convince you that you are putting yourself and others in harm's way. Just a few minutes of your time to give you a unique perspective on what really happens out there as you drive. Just a few minutes to help you understand the endless and unpredictable flow of traffic events that can work for or against you. Well, time is short. Let's get started. As you drive, you bring different levels of attention to the task. If your concentration on what you are doing is complete, if you are thoroughly scanning your environment, making well thought-out decisions, and keeping this process constantly going, You are playing with what, for this presentation, we'll call a full deck. Think of your deck as your total brain power, all of your mental processing capabilities. You are using each of the 52 cards available to you as well as you can to drive as safely and efficiently as possible. But in the real world, that's pretty rare. Our minds wander. We think about our jobs, our families, our next assignments, and a wide variety of other things. Even the best drivers can't focus on the task of driving all of the time. In fact, nobody can. So, depending on your level of focus as you drive, some of your cards are, in effect, missing. They are busy processing other information. This part of your mind is not working on the driving task. Now, we certainly encourage the highest level of concentration you can bring to your driving, but we know perfection isn't possible. Unless you are facing an on-road emergency or a very complex driving situation, a few of your cards will almost always be elsewhere. But watch, it can get worse, much worse. Let's assign your brain a few other tasks. You probably know that any other activities you engage in as you drive take some more cards from your deck. Reaching for some food, even if you aren't actively thinking about it, takes a little piece of your brain's processing power. Reach for the radio controls and it diverts your eyes and mind from the road and shifts a few more cards in another direction. Punch in some numbers on your phone and concentrate on an intense phone conversation, and you'll be dealing away a bunch of your mental cards. Now, for well over a half a century, we've been teaching a way of driving that helps people deal with any conditions they may encounter. The Smith system allows for the fact that people will not always be at their best. It accomplishes this by helping people build habits that routinely help them create a large and comprehensive traffic picture and a margin for error that will bail them out when the unexpected occurs. We do this with our 5 keys. For this show, we assume that you have some familiarity with these keys. This is just a reminder. Key 1, aim high in steering, helps people see a good distance into their driving future. It enables them to forecast problems and start the problem-solving process sooner than average drivers. Key 2, get the big picture, promotes expanding driving awareness to encompass all of what can be seen, and it helps people filter out what is unimportant. Key 3, keeps the changing picture intact. Actively moving, curious eyes help you keep your picture up to date and accurate. Key 4 helps you build a space cushion. With space, you are isolated. Isolation insulates you from trouble. Space can help you avoid conflict with others. Key 5, make sure they see you, is about person-to-person communication. By using the first 3 keys, you've begun to anticipate who and what in the traffic picture might be the sources of conflict. With that knowledge, you can offset danger by communicating with other people in a timely fashion.
One of the advantages of learning Smith's advanced driving skills is that I can handle more behind the wheel. If you anticipate well, you can juggle a few more things.
Well, the truth is, the habits you build around these keys can help you drive better, even when you multitask. But we don't encourage that kind of conduct or attitude. Even with the edge the keys give you, there will be times that a fragmented deck can kill you. We've spoken of the way that multitasking can strip you of big pieces of your deck, but you'll never know how many of your cards are missing. There's no way of measuring it. If you're tired or preoccupied, some of your cards aren't available to you. If you're managing several tasks and thoughts, a large portion or perhaps most of your deck will be missing. Are you working with 50 of the 52 cards? 30? 20? Less? How do you know? And if you're among those who don't put many limits on how much multitasking you do as you drive, there will be times that you won't have any of your cards helping you drive. Drive like this, and the 5 keys won't be serving you as well as they can. Here's an example. You grab your phone, takes just a second or two. You punch in a couple of numbers and look up. A few more seconds of broken attention. Or you change your radio station. Again, 3 or 4 seconds, no big deal. Or maybe you reach for a notepad on the seat next to you. Pretty much the same thing, you invest just a few seconds in the effort. Well, if you were traveling at 40 miles per hour, you were moving along at approximately 60 feet per second. So a simple 3-second effort or adjustment allowed you to travel about 180 feet down the road without being aware of any changes happening around you. During that brief period, every card in your deck was elsewhere. Yeah, maybe you gathered some of them back and refocused pretty quickly, but for a few seconds, you were vulnerable. During that brief period, your surroundings changed. Your relationship with other vehicles was altered. Your knowledge of what your next traffic moves needed to be had become obsolete. And if something sudden and dangerous had happened, you might have been among the last to know. So you may have the benefit of knowing the 5 keys. You've probably experienced how they can work for you. But knowing them and using them are 2 different things. Even at your best, all of the keys won't be working for you as well as they can. None of us can apply 100% of our driving knowledge and skill all of the time. Your eyes can't be everywhere at once, and neither can your thoughts. It might look something like this if you could graph it. Not perfect, but pretty good. If you can keep using the keys at this level, there shouldn't be much trouble in your driving future. But while multitasking, eye activity slows, mental problem-solving skills are dulled. This driver's knowledge of the keys hasn't diminished, but his use of them has. Danger can be approaching, but he isn't at his best. The lowest ebb happens when he takes his eyes from the road. Here, the keys aren't working for him at all.
Driving can be dangerous. A few other minor activities don't really add much to that danger.
Yeah, Terry is like a lot of people. She's done this type of thing before, many times, and she's gotten away with it. How'd she do it? Why were there no consequences? Well, that is where luck comes in. Traffic trouble can come suddenly. If you could chart it accurately, you'd see that traffic trouble doesn't flow evenly, it spikes. Long periods of routine driving can take place before real danger may occur. And there are degrees of danger. Sometimes it's sudden, but manageable even with a slightly depleted deck of cards. You'll need to deal with these issues, but even without your full deck, you can probably cope. If you or someone else doesn't make a serious mistake, things will probably be okay. This kind of trouble is represented by the small danger spikes you see here. A tailgater, someone cuts you off, disabled vehicle ahead, maybe an edgy driver looks ready to pull out. Just normal, average driving conditions. Small problems, seemingly easy solutions. But on rare occasion, danger really hits, and it hits hard. For example, someone runs a stop sign or a light, or someone changes lanes at the wrong instant, and you are in the crosshairs. This kind of danger can only be managed when you have all of your awareness and skills available to you. It's too late now to recover your knowledge of your circumstances and to bring your deck of cards back together. There'll be no time now to formulate a solution and act on your knowledge. You weren't playing with a full deck here, and if you escape this situation, it'll be luck that saved you.
You have to pick your moments. I don't take on other stuff when traffic is challenging.
Well, driving can be challenging at unexpected times and in unexpected ways. Even seemingly simple driving conditions can have danger spikes. Here on this harmless-looking highway, danger seems a long way away. But perhaps it's closer than it seems. You aren't thinking about the other person, and he isn't thinking about you. Your guard is down, and so is his. Much of his mental deck is away from his driving world, and so is yours. This is a setup for disaster. Both of you could avoid this, but because each of you is multitasking, neither of you have your best awareness or driving skills instantly available to you. And there's no time to collect them. So, you meet, and your lives are changed. Family lives are changed, too. And there's no going back. The point is, heavy traffic or light, you don't know when you'll need your full deck, and you may not have much notice. Okay, we've been talking about the 5 keys: behind the wheel luck, multitasking, and danger spikes. Now, let's bring them all together. Because for multitasking drivers, these are the 4 main components that will determine whether or not they'll arrive home safely tonight. As you drive, day in and day out, on-road danger and your attention to your driving world are in flux. They shift as traffic variables change, and as you deal out more of your deck or draw some of it back to cope with traffic issues. These green graph lines simulate what happens when drivers focus on their driving and then drift off to some other task. Remember, most of the time, people aren't giving 100% of their attention to driving. But as you know, there are times when some people offer very little attention to their traffic world. This is what it may look like to attach a graph to driver activity. Here, there is awareness. It's not complete, but the driver is probably processing enough information to handle minor traffic issues. Then he turns his attention to something else that seems important for the moment. Predictably, the on-road awareness dips. For a short period of time, there is no on-road awareness. Luck is starting to come into play here. If something sudden and dangerous happens now, there may be an incident. If his luck holds, well, it'll be just another day. The other part of this graph is the variable flow of danger. The small red peaks are minor challenges drivers may face from minute to minute. Pretty routine, pretty easy to handle if the vehicle operators are even somewhat attentive. Multitasking during this period, while not really safe, isn't as dangerous as it can be, as it certainly will be. But if you are on the road much, it's inevitable. There will be some nasty danger spikes. The real hazard here is not anticipating them and not having your skills and faculties at hand when you need them. If you could graph what it looks like when danger peaks and your multitasking has depleted your deck, this is what it might look like. Your attention is low and the danger is suddenly high. If this line connects with one of these spikes, you could well have a collision. This is how tens of thousands of people are dying every year. So these two issues are connected. The less attention you pay to your driving world, the more danger you will find yourself exposed to, and the more danger you will create. If you keep creating and exposing yourself to risk, over time, one of these danger spikes will find its way to your vehicle.
Look, okay, I've taken lots of safety classes, all right? And I'm young. I mean, I've got quick reflexes and a mind like a diamond. Sharp. I mean, I don't see what the problem is. A lot of people multitask every day doing different things, but because I'm in a car, a big box of metal protection, I don't get it. I should be able to multitask as well.
Perhaps one other reason to avoid multitasking is because other people won't. Their lack of attention will create danger for those around them. You can't stop it. These people are rolling danger spikes, and like it or not, they will bring danger to you, and you need to be prepared. When they come at you, you'll need most of your cards to handle them. All right, let's try to put multitasking into perspective, and we're going to ask you to get involved. Driving is a seeing, data processing, and problem-solving task. In a simple way, so is this memory exercise we are about to show you. If you're concentrating, doing the first couple of activities we're about to give you probably won't challenge you too much. In part, that's because you can dedicate yourself to handling these single issues. To evaluate the truth of this, we asked dozens of people to quickly remember 5 traffic signs. The signs appeared on screen for 2 seconds each, one after another. After viewing the signs for a total of 10 seconds, people were asked to write down the sign types in order. They had 30 seconds to complete the job after the last sign left the screen. Try it. See how you do. Grab a piece of paper and something with which to write. Create 4 columns of 5, like you see here. The bottom 2 groups of 5 should be placed side by side. Pause the show here if you need to. Now these will be the same signs you saw earlier, but we will scramble the order. You'll have 10 seconds to view the images, and then 30 seconds to record what you've seen. There are 3 criteria for success here. The signs are correctly noted, in order, and within the time provided. Please don't begin writing until the last sign, the 5th one, has left the screen. If you are doing this exercise in a group, please don't help one another. This is an individual activity. Okay, ready? Here we go. That's time. Please list the items mentioned in the proper order. These are the signs and their order of appearance. How many did you place in the proper order? Our test group listed an average of 73% accurately. Next, we had our sample group listen to the naming of 5 different pieces of fruit in 10 seconds. Like before, we asked our group to wait until they had heard all 5 items before trying to record them in the following 30 seconds. Now, you try it. There will be 5 items mentioned in 10 seconds. When you've heard the last one, try to record the fruit types in order during the 30 seconds that follow the last spoken word. Okay, here we go.
Apple, orange, grape, banana, watermelon.
That's time. Please list the items mentioned in the proper order. This is the list of fruit types. How'd you do? How many did you list correctly and in the proper order? Our test group properly recorded 97% of the objects. Next, we asked our test group to combine the tasks. Instead of a single objective, we asked them to multitask. You are about to see the challenge we presented them. We encourage you to try it too. As before, we will show the 5 traffic signs in a different order. Simultaneously, we will have our speaker mention the 5 fruit types, again, in a different order. Both of these events will occur in the same 10 seconds. We'll double the time provided to make a written recording of what you will see and hear. And again, to be successful, you must record the objects you will see and hear in the order they will be shown and spoken. You will have a minute to write when the last object disappears. The objective will be to have 10 objects written on your paper. Don't forget, to do this correctly, all objects must be placed in the proper order. Okay, get ready. Here we go.
Orange. Grape. Watermelon. Banana. Apple.
That's time. Please list the items mentioned in the proper order. Okay, these are the signs and objects in the order they were given. How'd you do? Our test group was able to record just 36% of the items correctly. Pause to discuss your thoughts if you'd like. Clearly, multitasking took its toll. Our test group averaged 85% effectiveness on the first 2 tests, but they were only 36% effective when they were asked to multitask. On average, their problem-solving capacity plummeted. The fact is, people do one thing at a time better than they do 2 things at a time. So what does all of this mean? Well, driving is about problem-solving. For a highly skilled person, driving can be a pretty simple and safe task. You're using your keys to see, to anticipate, to make well-thought-out decisions. You're avoiding trouble, and you're keeping danger spikes at bay. But if you complicate the job, if you fragment your attention, your efficiency at doing all of the jobs you are working at will diminish. If you were playing with less than a full deck while trying to remember objects in this exercise, you may have missed more than you would have liked to. If you were playing with less than a full deck while driving, if you split your behind-the-wheel attention, you may die. It's happening all over the world every day. It can happen to you. Multitasking while driving may seem important, even necessary. After all, there's only so much time in the day, and you need to make the most of it. Dashboard dining, commuter communication, and other behind-the-wheel tasks seem normal and even routine these days. But these distractions can come at a high cost. If a fragmentation of your attention coincides with a danger spike, perhaps even a small, unanticipated spike, your life could change or end in a few seconds. You have decisions to make. You can decide how much of your deck you want to use. You can decide how much risk you want to take. You can decide how the wild card is played. You can decide, given the risks and rewards, if you want, to focus on single tasking as you drive. But whatever you decide, it's a one-way trip. You can't turn back the clock and remake the decision if things go wrong. We encourage you to use your keys, keep the danger spikes to a minimum, and insulate yourself from the spikes created by others. Use the cards in your deck to deal yourself a good hand. More than many other elements of driving, you have complete control here. We hope you'll make the choice to play with as many cards as you can. Down the road, we think you'll be glad you did. Thanks for watching, and safe driving.